Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Konstandinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. In a follow-up to an earlier story on Braintree Today regarding the death of Alexei Navalny, the harsh critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin, his body was finally returned to his wife. His wife told European lawmakers that his body was abused following his death in an Arctic penal colony. His funeral details were announced last Friday. The service could be chaotic, with security forces who support Putin facing off with supporters of Navalny. Last week, Navalny's mother, Lyudmila Navalnaya, released a video saying Russian authorities demanded that he be buried in secret, and alleged attempts to blackmail her by authorities who threatened they would, quote, do something with my son's body. On Wednesday, Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell announced he will step down as Senate Minority Leader in November. He will continue to serve in the U.S. Senate, but is allowing the next generation of leadership to take the reins over the Senate Republican Conference. McConnell has long been a towering figure in Washington, D.C., and made history in 2023 when he became the longest-serving Senate party leader in history. In recent months, McConnell has been at odds with members of his conference, particularly over the issue of additional U.S. funding for the war in Ukraine. The Kentucky senator also has a strained relationship with the Republican Party's frontrunner for the presidential nomination, Donald Trump. The race for a new Senate GOP leader is already underway, with close eyes already on Senator John Thune of South Dakota, Senator John Cornyn of Texas, and Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. In the wake of the murder of Georgia nursing student Laken Riley, allegedly by Jose Antonio Ibarra, an immigrant who is here illegally and who had already been arrested and released in New York City for another crime, Republican lawmakers on Tuesday demanded that the Biden administration provide Congress with detailed information on how the Venezuelan national was able to enter the U.S. Members of the House Judiciary Committee and the Immigration Integrity, Security, and Enforcement Subcommittee asked Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas for Ibarra's immigration records, including his alien file, immigration detention status, and history. Ibarra allegedly killed Riley, a 22-year-old nursing student, while she was jogging on the University of Georgia's campus in Athens, which she had previously attended. On Wednesday, President Joe Biden's administration unveiled an executive order that would bar data transfers to countries of concern. The order will curb bulk transfers of Americans' geolocation, biometric, health, and financial information to countries including China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, and Venezuela. The directive appeared to zero in on Chinese gene companies like BGI, barring transfer of any volume of genomic data to the listed countries. Senior administration officials said in an interview, quote, China and Russia are buying American-sensitive personal data from data brokers and leveraging it to engage in a variety of nefarious activities, including malicious cyber-enabled activities, espionage, and blackmail. End quote. The White House said this has become a growing issue where companies are collecting more of Americans' data than ever before. Last week, we reported about the proposed deal between ESPN, Fox, Warner Bros. Discovery, and Hulu regarding the creation of a new sports streaming platform that would include all major sports and Division I college sports, among other athletics. In response, Fubo TV has filed a lawsuit against this plan since their platform focuses primarily on live sports. In its filing, Fubo TV said they have been trying to offer a sports-only package for years, but their efforts have been blocked by ESPN, Fox, and Warner Bros. Through demands that Fubo TV accept and pay for sports bundles that included programming that Fubo did not want and didn't want to pay for. Fubo TV not only wants the proposed joint venture shut down, but it is seeking cash damages. If the court does not rule to do either, Fubo TV is seeking restrictions on the joint venture so that competition remains in the marketplace. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
Meet James. He was surprised to find out that he has elevated blood pressure, which could turn into high blood pressure. So he talked with his doctor about a healthy path to get his numbers down. He quit smoking, which makes a big difference for his overall heart health. He also cut down on salt by watching out for high sodium on food labels and added a 30-minute walk 5 days a week to his routine. These healthy steps weren't easy, but lowering his blood pressure was worth it. Learn more about his healthy path.
Welcome back. On Tuesday night, Braintree residents who support the pickleball courts in town flooded the conference room during the town council's meeting. The reason for the turnout is due to residents near the Hollis Elementary School who showed up to voice their concerns regarding noise coming from the pickleball courts. Hoping to ease some of the tension on both sides, Melissa Santucci-Razzi and Jan Barris of Braintree offered some solutions to the town council. Here's more.
Good evening, and thank you again. Tonight I am here with Jan Barris and her pickleball people, her committee, and it looks like some supporters and players as well. We had worked with Jan in the first initial redoing of the courts a couple years ago. They've been playing on them quite a bit, and they have recently encountered some concerns about noise in the neighborhood. Jan, if it's okay, Mr. Chairman, if she comes up and just kind of starts to give some information as well.
Sure.
Has done quite a bit of homework and researched quite a bit of companies, and has some materials that she would like to share with the group this evening.
Okay.
Good evening. Thank you
evening.
for spending the time to speak with us. We started working on this back in probably August, myself and Janice Walsh, another one of the committee members, looking to get quotes for sound panels. We worked for about 3 or 4 months, got the sound panels. We have 3 recommendations, which I believe is in your package. We went with VibraScience for a couple of reasons. They're local. They're compared to the others. The other companies are all in Florida or Minnesota, and VibraScience is in Connecticut. Their rep came up several times, actually measured our courts, made the recommendations of what we should use, and we selected their BBC panel.
Bless you.
We selected their panels that are made by a company called Sound Seal in Agawam.
Also during this part of the meeting, residents who live near Hollis were able to voice their concerns about the ongoing noise complaints coming from the pickleball court. Here's more from the local residents.
Hi, I'm Michael Megley. I live on Wynot Road, and I'm part of the problem with this, bringing this problem to the town. I have a problem with here's a sound reading I had done. I've also sent via email live recordings that show the pops. This wasn't on the same day with the football team was out there. It shows that it's over 85 decibels in front of my house. It's actually my neighbor's house, but and there's just been too much. So we're looking for a reasonable solution. Pickleball noise problem to the pickleball noise problem. The sound absorbing material as planned is a good start, but we would like to see more. We'd like to see some of the hours cut down.
Hi, I'm Maggie Trudell, and I live at 11 Wynot Road. So I'm at the top of the street. And I do support something to try to mitigate the sound, but I will tell you, I do hear that pop. But to mention just about sound readings, we found a study that was done for Manchester by the Sea by a pickleball sound mitigation company. And one of the things that they noted was that the noise ordinances for the state of Massachusetts, and they also happen to mention Boston, do not properly address the impulse noise from pickleball and cannot be effectively used to judge objectable noise levels from pickleball. Both ordinances, blah, 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 they couldn't quantify it properly. So there is a problem in whether it's town government or what, in getting the right type of equipment to monitor the noise.
Also at the Town Council meeting this week, Superintendent of Schools Jim Lee was in attendance to ask the Town Council for approval to submit a statement of interest to the Massachusetts School Building Authority. The hope is the MSBA will partner with the town for renovations or rebuilding of the Braintree High School. Here are some comments from Lee and the Town Council.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you all for entertaining this. For those of you who have been here, this is year 6 of us trying to submit a statement of interest to renovate or rebuild Braintree High School. Every year we update the information in our submission in the hopes that we'll be invited into that process. This vote that you might take this evening is simply to authorize me as superintendent to submit the statement of interest with no guarantees of success at this point in time. But happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. President. No questions, and I'm going to say what I say every year. As a former member of the school committee, chair of the school building committee, Council Ringus also served on the school committee. As a superintendent said, this is just a submission to MSBA asking them to partner with us. We've been so fortunate and grateful to the MSBA for their partnership on almost all of our schools. And this is a partnership that's worth half of the amount of money, and I always equate it to residents to say if you wanted to do an addition on your house, it was going to be $200,000, somebody was willing to give you $100,000, you would absolutely partner with them. So it's foolish of us to not partner with MSBA because we'd be leaving literally millions of dollars on the table. Okay. And as I said, we've done so many projects, windows, roofs, buildings, roofs, boilers, new schools, renovations to school, basically brand new east, a whole new, brand new south. Yep. So many projects. The list goes on. And I appreciate the work that you've done in the school committee in bringing this before us every year. I will absolutely be supporting this. But again, it's always in the works so residents understand. It's not that we aren't addressing Braintree High School. As the superintendent said, this is the 6th time. So this has been in the works. There was a plan in place for this to happen after the middle schools and the space needs at the elementary schools. So I ask people to be patient and wait for this, and there is work to be done. If anybody has any questions, you can always reach out. But this is such a great partnership with MSBA, and the SOI is required in order to enter into that agreement.
Correct.
Yep.
Thanks.
Early voting for the 2024 presidential primary in Massachusetts began over the weekend in Braintree. The Super Tuesday presidential primary is scheduled for March 5th, but residents have multiple chances to participate before then. Early voting for Braintree residents takes place at Town Hall, 1 JFK Memorial Drive through March 1st. If you hope to participate in early voting, you can head to Town Hall Monday through Friday beginning at 8:30 a.m. Registered Democrats and Republicans can only vote in their party's primary, but unaffiliated voters can vote in either major party primary. As Easter is approaching, the South Shore Plaza brought back a friendly critter to celebrate the season. The Easter Bunny is now at the mall through March 30th. The Bunny photo experience will be open Monday through Sunday, and reservations are strongly encouraged. South Shore Plaza will also host events with the Bunny this season, including Caring Bunny, which is a private event for children with special needs and their families. Then there's Pet Photo Day, where you can bring your furry friend to pose with the bunny. And last, Baby's First Easter, which is a private photo event exclusively for your little ones to have their first picture taken with the bunny. For more information or to make a reservation, head to whereisbunny.com. The Braintree Parks and Recreation Department is still selling tickets for a field trip to see the Boston Celtics play the Detroit Pistons at TD Garden. The event on March 18th is available to residents of all ages, and seats will be located in the top shelf bar seating area. The trip will include round-trip transportation to and from the Garden, and buses will depart from Town Hall at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are $90, and you can buy them now on the Parks and Rec website at braintreerec.com. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
It's that time of the year again, flu season. Getting vaccinated against the flu and COVID-19 can help keep you, your family, and your community healthy. You can even get both vaccines at the same time. Visit mass.gov/flushot to learn more.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. Massachusetts Attorney General Andrea Campbell has asked the state's Supreme Judicial Court to order Milton to comply with the MBTA Communities Act. The act is meant to address the region-wide need for housing and includes 12 towns that are referred to as rapid transit communities. This requires these communities to come up with plans that will allow for easier construction of multifamily homes near rapid transit stations. The suit was filed 13 days after voters in Milton voted not to create a new zoning plan. It seeks an injunction to compel the town to comply within 3 months. If not, Campbell asked the court to appoint a special master to come up with a plan. Milton was required to approve zoning for more than 2,400 units of housing under the law. Opponents argue that the town meeting adopted plan places too much of a burden on the East Milton neighborhood and questions the notion of the Mattapan trolley line as rapid transit. On Monday, a pedestrian attempting to cross the street in Quincy was struck by a vehicle. The accident happened at about 6 p.m. near 1020 Southern Artery in Quincy, which is the address for the Presidential Estates Apartments. Police say the vehicle is a mid-sized dark-colored SUV that fled northbound on Southern Artery towards South Street. The vehicle is believed to have damage to the passenger side bumper, hood, and windshield. The Quincy Police Department, Quincy Fire Department, and Brewster EMS responded to the scene and transported the pedestrian to an area hospital. This incident is under investigation by the Quincy Police Traffic Unit and crash reconstruction investigators who were at the scene. Anyone with any information about this hit-and-run accident is urged to contact the Quincy Police Department at 617-479-1212. Later sunsets and more time to enjoy outdoor activities at the end of the day are just around the corner. Daylight savings time begins at 2 a.m. on Sunday, March 10th, when clocks move forward an hour. Many Americans favor year-round daylight savings time, but the legislation has gained little momentum. Dozens of states are considering proposals to adopt either year-round daylight saving time or standard time. In Massachusetts, 2023 saw 3 proposals regarding these two options that are currently pending. States can't switch to permanent daylight saving time on their own. Neither can they opt out of the Uniform Time Act of 1966, which mandated daylight saving time without either federal approval from the U.S. Transportation Secretary or an act of Congress. With the days getting longer, soon to follow are the welcoming signs of spring. Until then, a few more weeks of winter remain, but it might be smooth sailing for the South Shore as the forecast calls for more milder than normal weather. The mean average temperature for January recorded at the Blue Hills Observatory in Milton was 30.1 degrees. Colder than it was in 2023, but about 6 degrees warmer than 2022. Meteorological winter, which is based on the yearly temperature cycle, ended on February 29th, while astronomical winter, which is based on where the Earth is in relation to the Sun, will end with the first day of spring on March 19th this year. The Plymouth Patuxent Museums, formerly known as Plymouth Plantation, has been named the best open-air museum in USA Today's 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards. Located at 137 Warren Avenue in Plymouth, this collection of museums tells the story of the indigenous Patuxent people, part of the Wampanoag Tribal Confederacy, and the colonial English settlers who occupied the area in the 1600s. What started as 2 English cottages and a fort on Plymouth's historic waterfront has grown to include a 17th century English village, a Patuxent home site, a grist mill, a craft center, and a life-size reproduction of the Mayflower ship. The museums will open for the season on Saturday, March 23rd, and the Mayflower 2 will open daily starting April 13th. Thanks for watching Braintree today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment.
Hi, I'm Tom Lyons, a retired captain from the Quincy Fire Department and the author of the book Fighting Fire, A Proactive Approach. Let's talk portable electric space heater safety. These heaters must not be left unattended. Place them on a stable base 3 feet from combustibles. Their use is not recommended within a bedroom, but if you must do so, place a smoke detector on the ceiling within the bedroom. Plug a portable space heater directly into the outlet, avoiding extension cords. Thus, do not use lamp cords or power strips for this purpose. Are portable, unvented propane and oil-filled heating appliances safe to use within a residence? No. Massachusetts prohibits their use. These heaters produce asphyxiant gases. These gases can render an occupant incapacitated or dead. Please consider your safety during these upcoming colder months.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Before we get into movie recommendations, here's some entertainment news. First up, Gary Sinise, the star of CSI New York, has revealed that his son McKenna died at 33. Mac died on January 5th after a 5.5-year battle with chordoma, a rare form of cancer. In a message shared on the Sinise Foundation website, the TV star opened up about his son, saying, quote, "Our family's cancer fight lasted for 5.5 years, and it became more and more challenging as time went on. While our hearts ache at missing him, we are comforted in knowing that Mac is no longer struggling, and inspired and moved by how he managed it." End quote. In other entertainment news, Virgil, the former WWE star best known for being the bodyguard of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, has died. In recent years, the WWE star had several strokes and suffered from dementia. Virgil began his career in 1985 in Memphis with the Championship Wrestling Association as Soul Train Jones. He'd later become the AWA International Heavyweight Champion and an AWA Southern Tag Team Champion with Rocky Johnson, the father of The Rock. According to a post on his verified Instagram account, Virgil was 61. Black History Month is wrapping up, but it's still a wonderful time to look at varying stories, perspectives, and messages conveyed through art. Here are 3 movie recommendations for you to watch. First, Akeelah and the Bee follows Akeelah, an 11-year-old girl who discovers she has a talent for spelling, which she hopes will take her to the National Spelling Bee. Despite her mother's objections, she finds help in the form of a mysterious teacher and along with overwhelming support from her community. Akeelah might just have what it takes to make her dream come true. The film stars Keke Palmer and Lawrence Fishburne. You can watch Akeelah and the Bee now on Prime Video. Next, Respect follows the rise of Aretha Franklin's career, from a child singing in her father's church choir to her international superstardom. It's the remarkable true story of the music icon's journey to find her voice. The film stars Jennifer Hudson and Audra McDonald. You can watch Respect now on Peacock. Finally, Till follows the true story of Mamie Till Mobley's relentless pursuit of justice for her 14-year-old son, Emmett Till, who was brutally lynched in 1955 while visiting Mississippi. The film stars Danielle Deadwyler and Jalen Hall. You can watch Till now on Amazon Prime. That'll do it for news today. Remember, if you're a customer of Verizon, you can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128. I'm Martha Konstandinidis, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.